Let's get started with Lori Hart.
I met Sam shortly after my daughter Sophie was born, which means my relationship with Sam is as old as she is. A lifetime we have spent together in this family with all of the twists and turns and the ups and downs, the joys and the sorrows. Always Sam with a wry comment, an offer of help, and the gift of exquisite food. When Jenny first started talking about Sam, she would say things like, he's different from other guys. He has a weird sense of humor. But when she called to tell me that he had given her soft white men's t-shirts and expensive tweezers for her birthday, I knew that he got her. Who buys that for a girl who's just started dating? That was Sam. From the best bread for sandwiches to the perfect shower head, he was a singular man. He always knew exactly what he wanted. I loved Sam from the start, but the thing that really cemented our bond was the way he loved two of my favorite people in this world, my nieces, his girls, Minna and Tilly. There was never a more loving and generous father than Sam. He absolutely adored them. They were his light, his purpose, his joy. Whether it was being a short order cook each morning, making them separate breakfasts, each to their specifications, or driving all the way to Utah for a One Direction concert, Sam was 100% committed. And so now we find ourselves here. He has gone and left us. It is so incredibly unfair, and my heart and mind are helpless to find meaning, to understand the why of it. But I still feel him near me. I see signs from him everywhere. I feel him helping me choose which outfit to wear today, and especially what words to say. It is and always been so important to him that you girls know that he loves you forever. That even though he's not here to make you breakfast or comment sarcastically on something you've said, or drive you to a Harry Styles concert, he is here. He lives in you. He lives in all of us. He can still make you laugh. He can make you laugh forever. He will make you laugh forever. That love is eternal. It's never going away. The poet E.E. Cummings said it so perfectly that I'm going to end with his words. I hope they give you the solace and comfort they have given me. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I love you, Sam Friedlander, forever and ever.
Tilly.
Dad, I miss you so much, and I still feel you here so strongly. I'm learning now that these two can very much exist at the same time. Life seems to have more magnitude, yet part of that is the void of having you physically gone. As I grieve, my cries often end up in smiles and laughter, as that is what you've taught me about how to live this life. I've been told that we must experience both the yin and the yang to truly understand life in its fullness, seeing the balance of all the interconnected love with sorrow. I'm experiencing that now as I feel your unconditional love, but cry all the time because I miss you. I want one more hug from you and to laugh together again. I'd also like to hear another piece of your simple advice that had so much truth to it, but that sometimes frustrated me because you were seeing so clearly what I was overcomplicating so much. As dramatic and emotional as I can sometimes feel, you could always get me to see the ridiculousness to my melodrama, remembering to not take life too seriously. You always knew how to connect with kids so well because you never lost your inner child. To be around you was to be around someone who was completely being themselves. For you, that was a total weirdo, that any person couldn't help but laugh in your presence. You didn't care what anyone thinks of you in the best way, and that energy was felt when being around you. You're truly one of a kind, Dad. How lucky I am to have known you. I also want to acknowledge how grateful I am to have such a beautiful embodiment of love and acceptance through the friendship between you and Mom. I never really felt like I was missing out on having parents who were married because you brought our family together through your relationship with Mom and the effort you made to always put Minna and me first. You were always such an optimist, Dad. These past days, I can already hear and feel what you'd say and want me to understand when I'm struggling inside my head. I can feel you reminding me about the light you'd always want me to know exists at the end of each tunnel that I face. This tunnel feels like a long one, but I know I'll make it out. I remember in college when I was homesick my freshman year, and you sent me care packages with notes in them about remembering to believe in myself and how proud you were of me. I cried tears of joy while opening your gifts and sweet notes, remembering how lucky I was to have you as my dad. You've shown me that life is for sharing love, as that is what you always did, Dad. You're so easy to love. Grief like this is new to me, and it's so very surreal. I can't believe that you're actually gone, because you're not gone, and I can still feel your guidance. Even when I feel at my lowest, which has been many days this week, I'm remembering how much you saw the beauty in life and everything around you. As I carry you with me, I will also attempt to carry your optimism with me. Even as I grieve the best dad that I could have ever asked for, I see that in order to find this life beautiful, I will learn to find beauty in all parts of it, even in the grief, as that is how I know you'd want me to live my life. 24 years with you were 24 years of unconditional love and support that I'm forever grateful for. At times when I lack my confidence and feel lost, I still remember how much you believe in me, and my hopelessness will turn to love. Even in your absence, you're still spreading love, Dad. You saw beyond yourself and found the truth by purely being present for everyone in your life. I love you forever and beyond.
Thank you, Tilly. Now for a special performance from Minna and Trevor. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. So I'm gonna say something really short and also share a poem, and then we're gonna sing one of my dad's favorite songs, Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. And I really, my one wish is for everyone to sing along, please. You can pull the lyrics up on your phone. I won't judge you for having your phone out. Yeah, yes, but I don't think I printed enough. But yeah, if you have the lyric, you can share with your neighbor. Because I'm excited to sing this, but also very rusty and haven't done this in a while, and I'll be shaking in my voice, and so but I'll talk first. Okay. Oh, okay. Dad, how do I express the overwhelming gratitude I have to be your daughter? You were always there. Your unconditional love was all I've ever known, though I still feel it in everything I do. Dad, I love you forever and beyond. And I'd like to share a poem. This is called Adrift by Mark Nepo. from inside the miracle, enduring suffering, approaching wholeness. I just thought this poem really captured how I felt in the days after my dad passed, and the presence I felt, but the sadness and the grief and everything all at once. Okay. Everything is beautiful, and I am so sad. This is how the heart makes a duet of wonder and grief. The light spraying through the lace of the fern is as delicate as the fibers of memory forming their web around the knot in my throat. The breeze makes the birds move from branch to branch, as this ache makes me look for those I've lost in the next room, in the next song, in the next laugh of the next stranger. In the very center, under it all, what we have that no one can take away, and all that we've lost face each other. It is there that I'm adrift, feeling punctured by a holiness that exists inside everything. I am so sad, and everything is beautiful. Okay. Okay, is everybody ready to sing?
The secret chord that they claim and please the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? If it goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair, she broke your tone, she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe I've been here before, I know this room, I've walked this floor, I ceased to live alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on the marble arch. Love is not a victory march. It's cold and it's broken. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah,
I don't know how I can follow that.
Sam and I met in New York City at an open mic in an Irish bar, Flannery's, where we were both performing at an open mic on 14th Street in 1990. At the time, we were both temping and doing stand-up comedy at night. Sam was a comic at the Improv, where he was known for a bit about a French chef who had a disdain for American cheeses. "Your cheeses are the bleach blonde sluts of cheeses," he remarked about Kraft Singles and Velveeta. Because we met doing stand-up, there was always an element of humor in our relationship, which I believe helped us weather through difficult times. Amongst my most cherished memories of Sam was the time we spent making a TV show, Sam Live. It was a public access show that aired in Manhattan at 11 p.m. and Sam was the host and I was the sidekick. He promptly dubbed me, my character, Jenny Knows, just so he could handle my many opinionated diatribes. While our romantic relationship ended 10 years after we met, our enduring friendship, love, and partnership based around raising our two daughters continued. When it became clear that we were going to get a divorce, I urged him to go out and do comedy, and he did. He went on a second wave of stand-up comedy when he was in his 40s and came in second place at the San Francisco comedy competition. Of course, I didn't realize that his entire act was going to be based on being a bitter, middle-aged, divorced, French, Moroccan, Jewish guy with a lesbian ex-wife. But I was happy that he found his way back to the microphone. We were unlike most divorced couples, and often my kids would remark to us, "You guys get along better than most of my friends' parents who are married." Yet over the years, Sam delighted in torturing me in whatever ways he possibly could, including one year buying an enormous plastic 8-person tiki blow-up raft from Costco and bringing it to the Bolinas Lagoon when we were on summer vacation. After he got sick one night, I mentioned that a lawyer had advised me that if we got remarried, we could save a lot of money. We had a winter wedding on December 12th, 2023, in a ceremony that included our daughters and my sister as witnesses, and a $2 wedding ring, which he insisted I show off in the photo shoot after the ceremony. During the last 3 months of his life, he continued to create humor, notably running for Marin County Supervisor this past February with a platform of starting the first ever ALS reality show, and sent Minutili and I scrambling to gather signatures so that he could be a write-in candidate on the ballot this past February. Last March, I took him to the doctor for a medical procedure, and later that night he posted, "One of the great advantages of ALS is that I can have my ex-wife drive me through McDonald's without being lectured about the ills of fast food." I will miss you, Sam. I hope you're enjoying a grass-fed burger somewhere with a gluten-free bun.
Sam also posted on Nextdoor.com that on election night that he got one write-in vote, and so therefore his vote count went up 100%. He's wrong. I'm going to play the saxophone in a second, but I just wanted to mention that Sam was a huge Giants fan, as I am the last few years. He was my buddy. We would text each other constantly, every Giants game and back and forth, so I'm really going to miss that. But are there any Giants fans in the audience? Big Giants fans? I have a trivia question. Who was Sam's favorite player of the new generation, like the last couple of years of Giants? Anybody? Tyro Estrada?
Yeah.
No.
Randy Crawford?
Baumgartner.
Keep going. He's a rookie last year. Patrick Bailey. Sam's favorite top 4 Giants of the new generation. Patrick Bailey, Logan Webb, Duval, and Lamont Wade Jr. Okay, I'm going to play a song on the saxophone. This is called The Peacocks. I've never performed it before. I heard it last week and it just seemed appropriate. I'm kind of nervous. I played with Johnny Mathis last week, but I'm way more nervous here. Okay. Next up, Shane Richardson.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Shane Richardson, obviously. My uncle was Sam Friedlander, so that makes me his nephew. But I feel like Sam was much more to me than just an uncle. But again, those of you that don't know me, my sister and I, Shelby, we grew up without a father. And Sam was really our surrogate father through a lot of our lives, and especially for me as an adult, Sam was a huge influence in my adult life and my maturing and becoming the man I am today. And I have so much gratitude for that. He was just the most unique, special, humorous, spectacular individual. I think that the amount of people here today really shows that his love was boundless, and he really left a crater I know in my heart when he left the way that he did. And we're really robbed of him. This world's really robbed of just the beauty of his humor and the way he loved people. We were all so lucky to have been around him, you know. And I've been requested to share a story that not many of us know about Sam, that he shared with me, I guess in confidence. My uncle wasn't always the best at making decisions for himself. He was always good at making the best decisions for everybody else. He really was. He was so self-sacrificing. He was the most generous, loving individual that you could ever have the benefit of meeting. He was just the funniest guy. I mean, look at his movie poster. You know, when we walked in, he's just it has to put a smile on your face. But okay, here goes his story. No more delaying. So, a few years ago, Sam met kind of a lady down in her luck. Her name was Anna. And somehow Sam fell for this woman. You know, he's just, the age difference was there. You know, we were all concerned. Okay, let's just get some of this out of the way. He did some contentious things with Anna that we were concerned about. She had some substance abuse issues that we were already, you know, Sam would just look right past that. Sam, fix that, no problem, you know. Out the window, all the problems that come with that. And, but, you know, we were all, you know, up to our ears and just nervous and anxious about this woman that he was invited to stay with him the same week that he met her, pretty much. And but it's because that he had so much love in his heart. You know, he was down, and like whenever he was down, he never let it get him down. You know, he was just, he had so much love to give, and he was so thoughtful, and he decided to give this person a place to stay. And he, no matter what, he always saw the best in people. You know, he wanted the best for people. He's gonna hate me for sharing this story. Oh God. Sure. Yeah, we can share a different story about it.
We don't know the story.
Okay, the girls don't know this story.
Oh,
like I said, he shared this with me in confidence, but we're all here to laugh, you know. Sam was just the most unique person, and his, like I said, his love was boundless. But luckily, we have limits.
Sam would say, read the room.
Okay. I'm just gonna tell the story. I'm just gonna tell the story. So, because this has a happy ending, you know. But this woman took advantage of my uncle. You know, she took advantage of his kindness. There are people out there that, you know, he was, like I said, the most self-sacrificing person out there. And this lady just used my uncle as a place to stay, and she used his love, you know. My uncle, you know, he let that slide off his back like, you know, water down the bridge. And he just gave this lady everything to help her, and eventually it became too much. And he finally listened to us. We said, get rid of her. Oh my God, get rid of this lady. She's not good for you. We all care about you way more than this random stranger. And so we formulated a plan, Sam, and with the help of, I don't know, his counsel. And so Sam, she had always talked with Sam about wanting to be sustainable and living on her own. And so my uncle, this is so outlandish for him. This lady was a problem. And so he decided, they had always made plans to go camping together. So he went out of his way to buy, you know him, he went the extra mile, probably thousands and thousands of dollars of camping equipment for this woman. And he drove her across the Golden Gate Bridge, and he told her, this is it for us, and he dropped her off. And she's still out there camping. No, she's not actually. She reached out to my uncle, and you know, a year or so later, and she thanked him. She thanked him for saving her life, because she credited him for helping him get over her addiction and gaining a conservative viewpoint in politics. I'm sure she couldn't credit him with that. We all love Sam so much. But that's the kind of guy that he was. He sacrificed every single bit of himself until he had nothing left. And this disease was terrible, but he didn't let it take his dignity. And nobody could do that to Sam. He was the most amazing, generous, loving person. I could tout it forever. We shared so much, and I miss him every day. I think about him all the time. The beautiful people he left behind. And I see him in all of our faces. And I just want us all to collectively kind of give a group hug for Sam, because he was just the most special person to me, and I know he was to a lot of us. Thank you.
Except for that last part, I think he's got a comedy career if you want it. Next up, we have Shelby.
It's hard to follow that, yeah. Wow. Sam was a one-of-a-kind man of many talents and a father figure and role model to so many. An excellent chef, baseball connoisseur, and stand-up comedian. Over the years, I saw him as an amazing dad to Minna and Tilly, and a cool uncle who always stepped up for me, my brother, and my mom, his little sister. Sam and my mom always shared a special bond. It was Sam who my mom could count on to encourage her to keep going even through her hardest moments. Sam was a loving support always. He would call, text, organize weekends that we could all visit with each other. Those weekends growing up were some of the best of my life. Us kids would run off and play all day. Meanwhile, Sam would be in the kitchen, slaving away, making us delicious food. Everything felt delicious and decadent when Sam made it because it was made with so much love. Sam had an openness and willingness to connect with all walks of life. He saw the humanity in everyone, and he saw the best in everyone too. Sam's altruistic nature was admirable as well as over the top sometimes. Sprinkling humor and relatability into every aspect of his life. I'll never forget the ways he supported me, helped me through breakups, helped me move across the country in 48 hours, and treated me like his own daughter. He saw the value in my life even when I did not. Sam's legacy of love lives on through his family and loved ones, through his friends and coworkers, and for all who were fortunate enough to cross paths with him, and especially in his two beautiful daughters, Minna and Tilly, who I'm so grateful to call not just my family, but also two of my very best friends for life. I see Sam's love and light in their laughs and smiles, and in their hearts. Sam, I will never forget how loved you made me feel, even when I felt unworthy of it. Thank you for showing up for me, for showing up for everyone with love and light in your heart. Your joy and enthusiasm for life was contagious, and it ripples out through the hearts and souls of everyone here today. Your love is in my heart forever. I love you forever, Uncle Sam. Thank you.
This is a little excerpt of some Sam's short-lived political campaign. Sam is so green, he hugs trees. Every time I look at a wooden table, I cry. The table cries out to me. Why are you hurting me? Why did you cut me up to make a table? I did nothing wrong. I freshened the air for you humans to breathe. The wooden pencils are weeping. The paper pages of the books are screaming in agony. They beckon me to run for Marin County Supervisor, weeping to me, Sam, save me! Yes, I will save you, trees. Can't believe he didn't win. Next up we have Steve Hart.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you all for all the amazing discussions, stories, and it was just tremendous today for me to listen to it all. I'm not sure that I have as much, but I'm going to do it, give my best. I'm here today to speak in honor of a kind, caring, and loving man, and that's what Sam was to me. Sam could care deeply for his family, even after their divorce. Sam maintained his relationship with Jenny, and together they raised 2 beautiful daughters. For Sam, his children were everything. I'll never forget how he looked when he smiled when Minna and Tilly would come into the beach house at Ballina. As many of you know, Sam loved to cook, or more accurately, he loved to cook for all of us. It was a gift he gave and gave time and time again. The sandwiches were just legendary, and the same was true of all the many meals that we had together. Sam was the kind of person who inspired you to do better and to love more. I'll miss him dearly. Thank you.
Max Friedlander.
I think even holding a mic might be too much for me. Thank everybody for being here and also sharing such kind thoughts about my brother. What I wrote defines my brother from the very beginning. And here we sit and have a sort of prayer to him. And in the Jewish faith, it's called the Kaddish. Well, when my brother came out of the Kaddish in Sunday school, he was bawling his eyes out. I came out thinking, it's time to play, it's over. I looked at him and he couldn't stop crying. What happened? He said in an agonizing voice, we'll never know our grandpappy. I'm like, yeah, he's dead. That's why I never stayed for it. Right? So here we are, full circle. And I think I wrote a type of Kaddish that it may be so personal, maybe everybody doesn't want to hear it. So I'll try and skip some of the things that were meant for Tilly and me.
Oh, don't skip.
Well, I may not be able to finish it. So I might need a little support in that. Anyway, it's nice to see friends who knew Sam. I didn't know about half of what Sam did in his life, but the Sam I do know had a strong spirit since childhood. And I hope my sharing will fill in more details about the time, also known as, unfortunately, the dash between his dates. and I will hope to give you an essence of who he is and his impact on my life. I'll also share with you about my recent visit with Sam. Despite ALS, the Sam I know and parts I admire and cherish were still there. Writing my thoughts of Sam's life and memories started to sprout throughout my mind as I'm writing, so much that I realized he was there for me as he was for everyone else in his life. The day last year when Sam called to confirm his ALS, I realized later what he was actually saying then is his best days are now. I didn't know about ALS. I talked with my sister about it, our experience. I didn't want to know about ALS. I felt, though, like a cartoon pile of anvils falling towards my heart. And my sister Robin and I couldn't talk for a while, processing our brother Sam's life. Now I feel almost the same way from when I had open heart surgery. I was cut open, spread apart, and put back together. And I felt like life had changed. When I talked to my sister, life had changed for all of us. We recently lost Shane and Shelby's dear mom, our sister Milen, to an 18-year battle that we still ached from. I learned to better understand my sister Milen through hearing escapades with her best friend Mandy. And Mandy could talk longer than I can, so that wasn't a difficult task. But after her death, I now understand Milan, my sister, through Mandy. There was a lot of cruelty with ALS, and that kind of fate was maddening. I spent the week with him, 5 days. Jenny, Nina, and Tilly were there. And even though Sam couldn't keep up with the pace of decline, when I saw him, I loved his surroundings. They were perfectly designed for his care. It's called the triangle of life. When you're in a kitchen, it's this fridge, the stove, the sink. When it's in your life, it's the bed, the chair, the bathroom, and a little entertainment in between, the TV. He cared that his pride and dignity were strong and intact, and that he moved along the triangle's path with fortitude. The caregivers and I spent the majority of his day helping Sam live and survive the daily challenges. I recounted my brief life-changing experience joining what I learned was the Zipper Club. Post-surgery, you feel like 95 years old and stuck under an elephant. I found that healing came within myself, and my lucky catalyst was a documentary called Heal. Sam and I watched that together. But as we were watching, his files were shutting down. His voice, his arms, his legs, eating, swallowing, showering. But his eyes and smile expressed his soul. It was the hardest and best week we ever spent together. I thank God I had the opportunity to be there, to get a chance to say to Sam how I felt about him, to let him know that he won. He won at the game of life. And it's him finding peace is the best decision for him now. I thank God for giving me the strength to convey this selfless love to him and actually say the words to help him guide to that direction. What I hated, that direction I hated, was best for him, and that was to end his life. That didn't mean that we end his memories. As a parent, I want my children close, but because I love them unconditionally, I also want them to leave and to learn and to flourish. But this message to Sam was the hardest one I've ever done. Saying goodbye for the last time, his face gave a look that we knew we were parting forever, like a movie scene, holding someone's hand to the end. Though difficult, it was worth it. Minna and Tilly were by his side, the same way our sister loved Shane and Shelby by her side. I want to close with a story about him. At a young age in elementary school, Sam had a plan. His plan was to excel in school. But all that studious discipline needed an outlet. Sam's version of fun wasn't disruptive, it was mischievous and funny. After learning about electricity and energy in science class, he impressed the teachers of his grasp of science, so they supported his entry for the science fair topic on electricity. Sam's entry made fun of science's obsession with testing on mice. His booth displayed a giant big black battery power source, a dial like a cartoon dial, controlling the voltage, intensity, and 2 wires leading to a tiny mouse's paws. The title on the white backboard is, "What is the effect of electrocution on mice?" Damn, what a response he got. If it was social media, he would be an influencer. The teachers couldn't believe their prodigy could be so cruel to animals. The science department called our mom in, and we packed it up. I think our mom understood Sam's humor, and I believe I saw her chuckle. Of course, being French, it wasn't too far off their beloved torture of ducks and geese. But one thing is for sure, none of the fallout could dampen Sam's total glee over his science masterpiece. We loved it, Sam's friends loved it, and I think it sparked his comedy streak. This is for Tilly and me. In junior high, I took his advice to follow his math trajectory from algebra to geometry. I'm sorry. From algebra, geometry, and trigonometry. He was acing all courses by 11th grade. The math department was wowed. When I got to 9th grade, the teacher said, "You surprised me being Sam's brother." I knew at that point I wasn't at Sam's level of math. I couldn't accomplish Sam's talent. He had a lot of talent, and he made his own way with that talent. On Thanksgiving, our families got together, and the new game at the time was Risk. It was fun to play the game of Risk with our perfect score Ward. I don't know if anyone's met, but he had a perfect score on SAT. Genius. Well, Sam and Ward got into deep competitive conversations. And if you know my brother, he's competitive. Over a game of Risk, they resembled the State Department, the CIA, and the Department of Defense, strategizing on a board that was painted. So their strategies included the things they had learned in school: government policy, military, all those strategies. 2 years junior, I was playing without a paddle, but sharing their groove, seeing Sam excel against a genius was impressive. Lastly, in college in 1979, I took summer credits. I stood in the computer science room littered in paper and called Sam from the teacher's office to ask him, "What am I missing here, Sam? It's beautiful outside. I'm sitting in a room where the machines feel like I'm in a steamship, and I wanted to know what he sees, because all I see is a pile of punch cards on the floor, and it's freaking humid in here from these big machines. I'm missing the cool South Jersey breeze and riding the brake like we did every summer in South Jersey." Sam excitedly said, "Max, you're looking at the future. This is the future." So that was Sam. There's more, and I'll share in private, but I thank everybody for honoring me.
Next up, Desi. Keep it clean.
I'm not used to wearing anything but slippers. Okay. I just wanted to say that I am goth, so this is colorful for me. This for red shoes, you can't see them, I promise. Okay. The first time I thought to myself that we were all going to somehow get through Sam's devastating diagnosis was when I logged onto Facebook and saw that Sam had made a joke about his penis. I had truly never been happier to see a man talking about his penis. But the thing that made me really laugh about the post was always what made me laugh with Sam was seeing him exist in this world and how people reacted to this uniquely strange man. Seeing people earnestly commenting, "I love you, Sam," to a dick joke. It's like priceless comedy. And then there were also people who were like, "What's going on? Is this a bit? Are you okay?" And I would know he was like laughing to himself at this chaos he was causing. I also remember immediately texting Minna and Tilly, "Did you see your dad's Facebook post?" And knowing they were about to be simultaneously mortified but also cry laughing. We consider ourselves experts in the subject of Sam, and we are dedicated to recording and archiving every priceless moment. He was a treasure, and of course, in his darkest moments, he would use humor to help us all smile when we were so sad. He was so kind. And the greatest, and I mean this with the utmost respect, weirdo I have ever come across in my life. And I only have weirdos in my life, so this was an extreme compliment. You never knew what he might say or do, or just the anticipation of his every move kept me on a natural high. When you truly got immersed in the cult of Sam Friedlander, as I was, he could just walk into a room, and if I even made a second of eye contact with fellow cult members, Minna or Tilly, we would just start laughing for no reason. Just like anticipatory laughter would happen. But many times Sam gave us great reasons to laugh when he entered the room. Like the time he walked in wearing shoes that could only be described as something Jesus wore at the Last Supper. No warning, just walked out with shoes that were blocks of wood with ropes strapped to the top of his feet. You never knew what to expect with Sam. Maybe late one night you could get a text from Sam showing you a picture of a cheeseburger he just ate or a cheesesteak he was craving. Sometimes it was a compliment saying, "Hey, I was thinking about that quiche you made 6 months ago." And even going on something as simple as a walk with Sam would turn into a thing. One time, Minna, Tilly, and me and Sam walked the little mesa in Bolinas, and he looked out over the gorgeous view, gasped, and had an expression on his face that almost seemed like he had seen the face of God. We were like, "What is it, Sam? What do you see? A beautiful cloud formation, a double rainbow? A weird old hippie lady walking towards the beach, tits out? Like, what is it?" And he said stoically while pointing that the tree in front of us looked like a bundt cake. Food was never far from Sam's mind. If Sam were a cartoon character, he'd be the one who is starving and looks at a tall, skinny guy and sees a hot dog. He thought of food a lot, second only to his girls. A very close second. He loved to eat, and eating with and cooking for him were some of my favorite things to do. Last year, the family decided to have an all-pork extravaganza for Thanksgiving, Porksgiving. A great thing about Sam is that you knew all the leftovers would be taken care of, and no food would be left behind. I knew even before the meal had ended that Sam was already thinking about how he would be eating it for days, planning on ways to eat it, and coming up with groundbreaking innovations and combinations. This would be great wrapped in a scallion pancake, he would say to me, and I was like, yes, like as if he was the Dalai Lama saying something incredibly profound to me. I was like, this is genius. Like, we gotta get the scallion pancakes for this pork. He was like my food guru. I was mildly concerned, however, when a week and a half later he texted me that the pork was still amazing. I was like, Sam, even Homer Simpson would have given up on the pork at this point, and he was still eating it a week and a half later. I had to text Minna and Tilly to take the pork away from him. And of course I was convulsing with laughter as I texted, but I was worried about him and incredibly flattered as well. But the last thing I needed was for a person to say it wasn't ALS that took Sam, it was Desi's pork. Any Sam story was solid gold. He's like a legend in this family and for everyone who probably knows him. The best stories I've ever heard in my life have some version of a person asking Minna or Tilly I think I saw your dad, or is that your dad? If a new Sam story dropped, I needed to know every detail immediately. When I heard Sam had an incident in the theaters while watching The Fault in Our Stars, the coming-age romance movie about teen cancer, I was laughing before I even knew what happened. Apparently, he laughed when the girls were all sobbing when the heartthrob got his diagnosis. But it wasn't mean, it was just the absurdity of the whole situation. I was like, hold all my calls. I need to like get this story down. And it was definitely worth it. Hearing a Sam story honestly was the highlight of many of my days. Experiencing one in person though, there were several times I almost passed out because I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. Several of those times frantically dashing to the bathroom for fear I'd piss myself. I know Tilly and I will always have that incredible moment when Sam accidentally shattered a whole Christmas display that was on Laura's mantle. I was stoned, so I was already in trouble, and I genuinely thought I was gonna die trying not to laugh, and then Tilly burst into the room knowing her dad had just done something, and we were like at a standstill looking at each other, just trying not to laugh. At times like these, it's very easy to focus on how unfair this all is, and it is so fucking unfair. But also, all of the years that the universe has existed, and of all the billions of people in the world, we all won the lottery existing in the same time and space as Sam Friedlander. And as sad as I am also so incredibly grateful. Fun cake. That's my safe word that I'm gonna use when I feel like I'm gonna cry. So one thing Sam and I did bond over was the fact that we were two East Coasters constantly rolling our eyes around our many Marin County friends and family. So it is with deep shame that I'm about to bring up a Joni Mitchell lyric. It has always been a lyric that I thought so perfectly described the loss of someone, how the loss of someone feels. After saying that her old man was gone, probably some dirtbag on tour, she described how it felt. The bed's too big, the frying pan's too wide. Fun cake. We all now exist in a world that feels too big. There is space where a giant once stood. And while it may be tempting to try and fill that space with something else, we can also honor that space and continue to exist with it, reinventing it from one that represents loss to one that represents beauty, much like negative space in a painting or notes not played in a jazz solo. Because as painful as it is, it's an even worse fate to move on or to forget. While a celebration of life can feel like an end, I choose to see this as just the beginning of celebrating Sam, something I know many of us will do for the rest of our lives. And there are so many ways to celebrate him, by telling stories, sharing stories, bringing more fun and kookiness into the world, wearing something wild, a completely monochromatic pink outfit, just being a little freak. You can break a butter dish. Then shortly after that, break another butter dish. Then weeks later, let everyone hear a crash and you saying, not another butter dish. Perfect your hoagie. Have a little laugh when teen girls are crying during a cancer tearjerker. Or maybe one day when you're driving home late at night and you see those golden arches in the distance, pull through the drive-thru and shame eat a Big Mac and fries in your car. Scarf them down like no one is watching. Or as Sam had to do, because he did not have that luxury, he had to pig out in his car in the McDonald's parking lot while a car full of teen girls were watching and in awe before hearing one of them say, Tilly, is that your dad? We will never be without Sam. That's so great. Thank you.
I was hoping someone would tell that McDonald's. Okay, we're going to change the program slightly and break for lunch now, and then after lunch we'll continue with the poems, etc., and stories, open mic later. So please stick around. I want to tell you that we're going to take a break now, put on some music, I think, and then mimosas, if you drink alcohol, will be served on that side of the house in a few minutes, and then lunch in the front of the house, and then lunch in about 15 or 20 minutes. So, Charity.
The first thing I'm reading is actually not a poem, it's a quote by Osho. Everything returns to its original source, has to return to its original source. If you understand life, then you understand death also. Life is a forgetfulness of the original source, and death is again a remembrance. Life is going away from the original source, death is coming back home. Death is not ugly, death is beautiful. But death is beautiful only for those who have lived their life unhindered, uninhibited, unsuppressed. Death is beautiful only for those who have lived their life beautifully, who have not been afraid to live, who have been courageous to live, who loved, who danced, who celebrated. Death becomes the ultimate celebration if your life is a celebration, as Sam's was. I do actually have a little bit of a poem. I had the honor of going through some of Sam's old footage and compiling the video that's in the living room, which includes some funny things from the show that Jenny referenced, the late night public access television show. And I can't get an opening song out of my head, so if you know it, you can sing along. Although it does run contrary to Destiny's story about pork's giving. It goes like this. His name is Sam. He don't eat ham, 'cause his last name is Friedlander. He doesn't dance, he doesn't sing, but he makes the whole room ring with laughter forever after, up to the rafters. We love you, Sam.
Really? I didn't know that good stuff.
Joelle.
That was lovely, Charity.
I have a poem that I made, created, I guess. A gentle laugh, a thoughtful sigh, a knowing look in his eye. A casual walk, a light talk, a comedic knowledge to unlock. Gentle, thoughtful, casual, light, his peaceful heart still shines bright. We love you, Sam.
Thank you, Joelle. Okay, this time we're going to bring up my brother, Jonathan Jedikin. I wanted to share before we recite this prayer. As Jim said, I'm Jonathan Jedikin, and I'm Jim and Jenny and Lori's little brother. And I'm Sam's little brother. And I met Sam, I guess it was 33 years ago. And at that time in my life, when I was a teenager, and there are a few people here that can attest to this, I was a rather unpleasant person to be around. And to really appreciate this, it needs to be said that I have the best siblings a human being could possibly have. And I try to really say that a lot, not just at events like this, but it's really important. And I say that because of how kind and accepting and
loving and caring they've been to me my entire life. When Sam came into my life, Jenny introduced him to me, there was no distance between he and I. I was instantly his brother. In the sight of what a rude and just complete punk that I was, he was incredibly kind and compassionate and interested in me and in who I was, and that never changed. And we got to share many things as I grew into the person I am today. And I am so grateful that I had the experience that I had with him, that I got to be, and I am his brother. The family asked to have us recite this Hebrew prayer. It's called the Kal Maleh Rachamim. And it's a prayer that is for mercy, and it's spoken about to ask God to help the one that's passed through, to help their soul transition in addition to their body transition. And it's a beautiful poem, and I'm really glad that the family chose this. And I invite everyone to read the English with me and the Hebrew transliteration together. God, who is full of mercy and dwells on high, provides a true rest on the wings of the divine presence amongst the holy and the pure ones, who shine as brightly as the brilliance of the sky, and the soul of Sam, who has gone on to their eternity, the Garden of Eden, and will be their resting place. We beseech the merciful one to shade them forever with divine wings and to bind their soul up into the bonds of life. The Lord is their heritage, and they shall rest peacefully on their bed. And let us say, Amen. El Malach Rachamim, Shohochamin Baruchamim, Hamehazad Mela Al Kanfe, Hakurusha Bama'alot, Kirushim, Erchim Kazor, Harakaya Mahazrim et Nishmat Sam. Shahachala Olomo Began Eden. Tai Mechusher Moto, Ana Ba'alama Hamrachim, Yisharu Bit Kanav Leomim, Vitsur Bitsur Ha'amim et Nashmato, Adonai Hu Nachashato, Behayahu Ol Mishkaf Bishalom, Vemormim, Amen. Thank you.
Okay, at this point we're going to open up the podium here for stories. I know there's dozens of people out there with stories floating in their minds. I want to remind everyone to sign the books inside in the living room if you haven't already. Okay, we're going to start with a story from Violet, my daughter. It doesn't have to be a story. It could be a song or a
Shout out.
yes.
For some reason, Dad doesn't remember this, even though I keep telling him it. Like, just in the car when we were driving here, I was like, Dad, do you remember this story about Sam? And he was like, no. I think he told it to us like a year or two ago. By us, I mean a few people. I don't remember who, but I was one of them. So when he was in school, there was some assignment and he had to, or something, I don't know. And he was saying, no, he was reading a book in front of the class. And he said the word determined, like determined. And the teacher kept telling him that it was wrong and that the word is pronounced determined. But he kept insisting that determined. So,
Eventually, the teacher got so frustrated that they had to call his mom in. So, when his mom comes, she says, she's like, "What's the problem?" And the teacher's like, "Your son, he can't pronounce the word determined. He calls it like determined." And the mom's like, "That's how you pronounce it."
Anybody else? Up. Anybody else? We're accepting stories. What's that? We got one. We got to take her. What's your name? Bella.
Hi everybody, I'm one of Minna's friends from high school and many years since then. I just wanted to be here to, show my appreciation for this beautiful family and wanted to thank Sam for, taking such good care of us growing up. I know all of you have heard about Sam's food and how joyful he is, and he was truly like that with all of the friends. He cooked for us, he took us everywhere, for ice cream, for movies. We could always count on Sam for everything. My personal story is that my mom worked a lot when I was a kid, and it was just so nice to be able to count on Sam for whenever we needed a parent around. And the last thing I wanted to say, thank you, Sam, and also just want him to know that we're always going to take care of you guys, be in your lives, and you can always count on us for everything. So thank you. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Sorry, really quick. Sam introduced me this beautiful cuisine of Vietnamese food. He took us to the most amazing place in San Francisco, and ever since then, the whole group is in love with pho. We eat pho all the time together, and whenever we want to plan something, it always starts with pho. So thank you, Sam, for that.
Is it loud enough?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Sophie.
Hi. So I'm Sophie. I'm one of Sam's lucky nieces. And today is supposed to be a celebration, so I made a list of things that I would do to celebrate Sam. First is I will order French fries instead of salad. I'll take a nap when I feel like it, whether I'm tired or I'm just bored. I'll make pancakes, waffles, and French toast standard breakfast options for my kids, and I'll learn to make crepes. I'll laugh if I think something is funny, even and maybe especially if no one else is laughing. I will develop and commit to a stubborn olive oil preference. I will go on walks alone and often. I'll offer to make everyone dinner on a Sunday just because I miss them. I'll get dressed in real clothes. Sometimes, even for small things. I'll buy nice skincare products for myself regularly and without guilt. And I will keep searching for a hamburger that can beat Shake Shacks. I love you, Sam.
And I'll lie down on my back for every Zoom session without shame. I have a little story. When I lived in New York 30-something years ago, and Sam did a lot of temp jobs when he was doing comedy. And at one point he took a real job. And he said to me, because I was temping, and he said, "Jim, I'm leaving Harlem Hospital, and sign up with my temp agency, and I'll recommend you, and you can just go work there. They're great people." I said, "Okay." So I signed up at his temp agency. He gave a recommendation, and they hired me. So I showed up to Harlem Hospital, and with Gloria Whitley and her assistant. And the first thing they said to me was, Sam highly recommended you. You're a word perfect expert. You need a word perfect expert. You guys remember Word Perfect?
Yeah.
It's a DOS program. And I had done it in my job. Like, I could create a memo. I could do spell check. But I was not a word perfect expert. So I was kind of nervous. But actually, I ended up getting through that rough patch. And I stayed on that temp job for several months. But I just think that's a example. Sam was so generous. Like, he was always willing to, help people out, and very generous, giving person. And I'll miss him. Do we have any more stories? Oh, Violet Part 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Marty Miffelberg.
She's pressuring me. I was part of Sam's campaign for Marin County Supervisor. My alter ego, Marty Miffelberg. But I don't have anything prepared by him. Do we have any more takers for stories? We got Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
I wanted to wait until my sweat stain dried.
That's okay.
If no one else is coming, I'll do it now. Excuse me. So, if people don't know, I wrote a book recently, and when I began reporting it, it took a couple of years or longer, and I would come up here to Marin when Jenny and Sam had moved here. I can't remember if Tilly was born here or if it was in LA, but then it was here.
Yeah.
And they moved to Fairfax, and I would stay with them when I was reporting, and sometimes a couple days would turn into almost a week once, I think. And they were still married, and they had just moved to Fairfax, and I told Jenny wasn't happy because most of her friends from Fairfax weren't there anymore. She had moved up from LA. And I said, well, before I leave, let's have a party. And we'll invite people, like whoever we meet in the shops and everything. And because you're so lonely. And I think Karen Green might have been here, so she brought some friends. We told some people, and it was a good party, maybe 20, 30 people. And Jenny connected with a woman at the party, very, they were talking all night. And this is gonna get back to Sam. So I took that woman aside, whose name won't be spoken, but I said, you have to promise me, I'm leaving her tomorrow, she's so unhappy, but she's been lit up all night and happy, that you're gonna stay in her life forever after I go. And then a few months later, Jenny broke up with Sam and said she and that woman had fallen in love. So I came up again, sometime probably 6 months, a year later, and Jenny and Sam were taking turns living in the Fairfax house, taking care of the kids. So one would live, I think you'd live with that woman, and then Sam would stay in an apartment that he had rented. And I still stayed with whoever was there because I needed a place to stay because I was broke when I was reporting. So one night I came back shortly after this, and they had switched. I'd been staying with Jenny, and she was gone off to that horrible witch's house. And Karen Green introduced her to. And Sam was sitting alone in the living room in a big picture window that kind of looked down the hill at Fairfax in the dark. And I came in, and I love Sam, and I think he loved me, and he hated me. He had concocted in his head that since I was gay, it was some kind of conspiracy that I had plotted to end the marriage. And I said, he told me all this that night. I went in there and I said, Sam, can I put on a light? He goes, no, I'm just thinking about what happened to my life because of you. And I said, no, whoa. I said, I was just as shocked as you were. I mean, when I met Jenny, I didn't think she was straight, but then she convinced us she was, and then she fooled us a second time. I go, Sam, please, but there was nothing I could say to him to dissuade him of the fact that he thought that I had planned this thing somehow to ruin him. And he said to me, he goes, Tom, you have to understand, it's like I lost my entire family in a car wreck. And I said, Sam, you have not lost your family. Those kids are going to be there forever. Jenny maybe, but not much of a loss. So it took a while. And Sam ended up, a bunch of years later, maybe even as recently as 5 or 6 years ago, kind of apologizing for that conversation and saying, that was stupid. He goes, I was really traumatized and I needed someone to take it out on. And the amazing thing was to see what happened at the end of his life. They always stayed friends through all of that horrible woman business, and then a couple more too. But anyway, you never picked them as well as you did the one you married twice. But just to see what you guys did at the end and the support for your kids and you're helping him here, I think it's a lesson to you two guys that you're going to have forever about like unrequited love and support and all that, and that's something we take from Sam, I think.
Sorry, that was too personal.
Anybody else? Shayna.
Hi everyone. Wow. My name is Shayna. I'm actually kind of nervous now that I'm standing up here, but I just want to show my gratitude for Sam. He was such a loving man. And a couple years ago, my dad had passed away, and your family was so supportive, especially your dad. And I remember we made a GoFundMe, and your dad donated $1,000 to me and my family. Just so selfless and such an amazing man. And I always felt supported and loved by him. He was so funny. I can't do your voice like you did. But he had such a funny voice and just demeanor. And I just want to share a quick story. When we were in high school, we used to do these things called scavenger hunts. And, we realized that we had to fill up the car with some gas. And unfortunately, we filled up the car with diesel. Tilly did. And we thought it was the cheapest gas. We were so excited. We got a good deal. All of a sudden we're driving on the freeway and the car starts, winding down. So we pull over. The police pull us over and make sure we're okay, and realize, we weren't doing anything very good in the car.
I was not drunk.
Tilly was very responsible, but anyways, Sam picked us up that night, and he was so non-judgmental. We just got in the car. Just a safe person to be able to go to. You need a parent in those times of need when you're a kid. Just a safe person that you feel supported and loved by. And I just wanted to say to you guys, we'll always be here for you. And we're always going to take care of you. You don't have to do this alone. And love you, Sam. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Oh.
You got. Do you have one? Ruby.
Thanks, Bella, for pushing me to go here. I didn't really have anything really prepared, but just some things I wrote in my journal recently, and yeah, so nothing coherent, but everyone said such beautiful things, and yeah. I'm Ruby, if anyone doesn't know me. I would say I'm Minna's best friend, but I feel like I'm also family to everyone. I don't know, words just don't feel like enough to express my gratitude and love for Sam, for Minna and Tilly and Shelby and Jenny and everyone in the Friedlander, Jedikin, Hart, Richardson family. A lot of people. For all of the amazing memories, the food, adventure, community. I am so grateful to be considered family to you all. Sam would refer to me as one of his children, and I truly felt that way. He showed me the love of a father that I felt like I was lacking in my life. There are so many, I can't even read it. There are so many memories of just fun and adventure with everyone, and being in Bolinas and Sam's famous sandwiches, it's already been referred to, and just Sam walking in and just, you don't even know what to expect, but you're just gonna laugh. And his beached whale comment when he eats too much food. And we would just laugh until we cry, and now I find myself both crying and laughing just thinking about the memories. And for the first time that I saw him after he was diagnosed and we hugged, he started laughing and crying at the same time, and I think it was a symptom of the ALS, but just that, not be able to control his emotions, and just it felt beautiful in that moment to have that with him and just releasing all those emotions together. Just so many amazing memories just in Sam's apartment, and having beignets in bed and all the food that Sam would make. He was just always so giving and just an amazing person, and my love for food is because of Sam and because of your family. And I guess we always talk about this, but just when we would go on trips, I feel even if things would go awry, Sam would somehow find a way to just make it fun instead of stressful. We always talk about the trip when we're supposed to go to New York, but we get stuck in Dallas because it's winter time and there's a layover. So we ended up spending more time in Dallas than New York. And Sam rented a car that was too small for our luggage, and Google Maps wasn't working. We were just going around Dallas not knowing where the heck we were going. And he wanted to go to this barbecue place that I can't remember the name right now, but he was Dickie's. He was let's go to Dickie's. And he just I just so appreciate his living in the moment and being I'm craving this and we're gonna go get this right now. And I'm just so grateful. I feel I'm all over the place, but I'm just so grateful to have had that love and support in my life, and just to have you all in my life. And I love you all so much, and I love Sam so much, and yeah, thank you.
Anybody else?
Maddie wants to do it.
What about that One Direction concert?
Yeah. I can talk.
Okay. Come on up.
My name's Corinne. I was really good friends with Minna and Ruby in high school, and someone else who's not here. But anyway,
you guys know One Direction. We got, we were really big fans of them. We went to one concert that was here. We spent like an entire summer after freshman year of high school stalking them around the Bay Area. And we really wanted to go to a VIP concert and get to do a meet and greet and stuff. And we spent all day, we used like 9 computers trying to get tickets, couldn't get any. Finally found a like VIP package in Salt Lake City. And we'd been crying all day, like just mourning our concert future in my house. And we all went home separate ways. And I don't remember which one of us was the one who found the ones in Utah, but we were like, okay, we have to find someone to take us to Utah. So we called all of our parents. We were like, you guys, we have great offer. We finally found some tickets. They're in Salt Lake City. And Sam volunteered to use his miles to take us there. So all 5 of us, the 4 of us and then him, went to Salt Lake City. I don't know what he did while we were at the concert all day. But the memory that I actually have like the most clearly that I was just telling a couple of people was it was after the concert, and I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a really popular concert, but the worst part is like trying to get out of the parking lot after the concert's over. And so we were waiting in this super long line of cars, and he was like, no, forget this. We're in this like little sedan, and he like drove over the like median with all the grass on it and just like burst out. I think it was like a one-way road. We just curtailed everybody. But it was a really wonderful memory, and still reference it with kind of embarrassment, but that we did that. But it was a really good memory. And then also just like separately, he was just a really good friend to my mom. So
Anyone else? Someone has a burning story, but they're afraid to come up here.
Hello, my name is Lillian Lopez, and I brought my daughter because they can speak right English, but pienso que los últimos momentos que pasamos con Sam fueron los mejores.
I think the last moments I spent with Sam were the best moments I spent with him.
Pasamos diferentes cosas, pero que tenía un good time. Y para mí hubiera sido bien bonito conocerlo antes, pero siento como que si lo conociera toda la vida.
I didn't know him that much, but I felt like in those last moments I really got to know him, and I felt like I knew him my whole life.
Fue una de las personas favoritas que he cuidado en mi vida, y I will love Sam forever. I will remember. I'm gonna take in my heart forever.
He's one of the people that I've taken care of that I'll truly value in my heart and love forever.
I love you, Sam. I know you can hear me.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to share? If not, we'll put the music back on. Tilly?
I also just wanted to thank like everyone for coming, and like I just have really felt a lot of like love and support from like everyone in my life lately, and like I just really, I feel like my dad touched so many people with his love, and I just have like felt that come back around through all the support like this past year and lately that everyone has like shown up in our lives, so thank you.